Welcome to Coaching Uncut, a special series on the Unstoppable Woman podcast, where I take you behind the scenes and give you a peek into the private coaching I do with my clients. All of these coaching calls have been recorded with the permission from my clients who have generously allowed me to share these with you as a way of helping more people in this world. They give you access to master level coaching and the opportunity to learn the lessons that they're learning right along with them. Please keep in mind that these recordings are not studio productions and the audio quality may be less than ideal, but the content will take you far and help you become unstoppable. With that, listen in and learn. You've hired great people, yet sometimes you see them going off track. How do you avoid being one of those micromanaging leaders while still ensuring that the work gets done with excellence? Listen into this episode to learn what you can do instead of micromanaging, or worse, instead of going into the blame game.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good.
So one of the things that, it was funny, I was doing my own self-therapy for myself when I was talking to because has an ops manager that is me in 2018. The very cold, lacks empathy in interacting with people, doesn't believe she's micromanaging, but so micromanaging. And so I was chatting with her, and what was so funny is I was chatting, I go, well, this is how I was in 2018, and I've been doing a lot of work to get away from it. But one of the things I realized as I was going over is how much I'm not doing the stuff as bad, but how I still do it. And I immediately thought of a meeting I had yesterday. So I have my one probate paralegal that left, the new one that started this week, that we're training into the role, and she's very engaged in learning. And one of the biggest things that I had yesterday, I wouldn't really call it a panic attack. Couldn't go back to sleep, so just got up and started working on the probate stuff that was concerning me, reviewing. But I didn't like the way that the meeting was going when I sat in, and I took control over the meeting.
Yeah.
Which was not cool.
And it was not cool because you were in your micromanaging small fear place, or not cool and therefore blaming other people and pulling them down a notch, or not cool because it was simply disrespectful in the moment and not allowing someone to grow?
I think it was disrespectful in the moment. Because I've told my associate attorney, this is his cause, he's responsible for it. So I came in and I was listening, and this is not what I said, but this is how I felt. Oh my God, this is nothing but kumbaya that you've been doing for the last 30 minutes. And
you said this in front of someone else. You need to be doing
training. I didn't. It was his entire cog that was in there. I go, this meeting needs to be refocused on the inventory. And because she as well as the rest of the team, we've got to go through this inventory because it's been about 2 weeks since it's been thoroughly reviewed. And we need to make sure everybody understands what it means to go through the inventory. So you need to pull up the report and walk through. And that's when, at the end of the day, all three of the people came up to me expressing that they thoroughly loved the meeting because of all the information they learned. But I think my problem where I say that I got into my old self is, and I don't know how I should have done it in the moment. I realized that this meeting was nothing that I wanted it to be. It was nothing that I expect my associate attorney to do for training, and it was nothing that I expected. It was showing very poor strategy about how to address the inventory. And so I didn't want to disrespect him by saying, no, you're wrong. So how I tried to do it was, well, I'd like to put this meeting in a different focus because we need to do X, Y, and Z, and then just went on training. Also, I realized how very little my associate is turning notes of some of my platforms, but that's fine. He was, taking notes too, and et cetera. So I feel I could have addressed it better, because I've been trying to tell him to own the team, and he was trying to own the team, but I don't think he knows what's meant by owning the team. And I think that I did poor communication with him.
Yeah, so this is a coaching opportunity, and the only thing so you're feeling bad because you stepped in and you're trying to make it all better, correct? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So give yourself some grace, and what I do is some combination of the two. You can't dive in there and start managing everything unless it's something super, super critical. This is a $100K deal, and if you don't step in, you're going to freaking lose it. Okay. There's a time and a place to do that. Okay. And you can do it with aplomb. You can do it in a supportive way. You don't have to denigrate or disrespect anyone. And let me model that a little bit for you. That's really interesting what you're saying right now. I want to add something to that might give an additional perspective. And so it's supportive and moving it along. There's a little segue phrase. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Or you might model it that's a really important point. And I think when we look in this context, when we change our perspective on this and look at this context, I also want to add that we want to consider this, this, and this. It's the same concept. I'm just giving you different words. The meta is affirm and then lead, okay? Lead to over here.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
The person doesn't feel undermined, and the person listening, in this case, I was thinking more of a potential client, but it could be the other team member. The other person doesn't think, oh, my boss throws people under the bus, or this woman is disrespectful of her team, okay?
Yeah.
You might need to have conversations later that are a little bit more pointed without being disrespectful still, but in a public context, you don't want to throw people under the bus. Now, there are different kinds of relationships. I have a relationship with my team where, in our leadership team meetings, I'm not going to throw someone under the bus, but I am going to say, this really didn't work, and we need to figure out a plan going forward. I'm going to be straight about something that's not working. And they all expect that, and it's never done with a denigration of the person. I might say, but so-and-so, I really expected this, not this. So we need to figure out what you need to hear from me to make sure that I'm being clear in the outcome that we want. Coach me up why this wasn't clear. Okay, do you see how I'm speaking? I'm not making them wrong or bad, but I'm also not dealing with the subject. I thought I was clear. But again, it's not blamey. Blamey is I thought I was really freaking clear. What didn't you understand? Okay, that's blamey. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? So there's tone, and I suppose you could say the same exact words with different tone, a different come from energy that looks like, you know what? I thought I was super clear here about the outcome that we were going for. Could you let me know? I guess there's a phrase there, a little different phrase. Could you let me know what about this wasn't clear? What could I have done differently here? Okay? Totally same basic concept, but different tone, little segue phrases. Okay. So now in your particular situation, this is an opportunity. Your expectation of where is higher than where actually is. So this is where leadership comes in. So I would figure out how much he can take in terms of training and coaching up at one time. If you fire hose him, it won't be fruitful. So, but you can close the gap, the loop, same day, next day on conversations like this with your team and be I was thinking about the meeting we had yesterday that was training on X, Y, and Z. And what I realized was that I have a very clear idea about what makes effective training, but I haven't communicated that to you. And I wanted to take a moment to do that.
what you just stated is exactly where what I use the word wanted to hear, because that's it. That's it.
Yeah, this is an example of personal responsibility. You've heard me say we're 100% responsible for all our outcomes. This is not lip service. This is true. And you're like, I can't be responsible for what does, but you can. Okay? No, he needs to step up, obviously, but you can keep providing the framework for him to do that in. If he does it, booyah. If he doesn't, then the personal responsibility is you let him go. I'm not suggesting that at all. He's great. Okay?
Oh, I know. I know you're not. I know you're not.
Yeah, but that's like just playing that out. So this is how you have to take personal responsibility. And the key thing is not going into victim and blame. Okay? I want to give you the meta for the future. When you go, you say, I realized I didn't. Right? What didn't you do? I wasn't clear in my communication. I haven't trained you on how to do training, right? All of those things. That's a I statement if you think about nonviolent communication, okay? It's about you, but the higher level beyond nonviolent communication, because oftentimes people will say I statements, but they still have a come from energy of vindictiveness and judgment and make wrong and blame, okay? Like, I was really put off when you did blah, 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 blah. That's bullshit, okay? Like, do you get the difference? And this is like, I take personal responsibility for what just happened, okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Yay!
Awesome. Much appreciated.
Okay. You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this episode of Coaching Uncut. Let us know in the comments what you learned and how you can apply it to your own life and business. We absolutely love hearing from you. And we also love receiving your feedback. So thank you in advance for your likes and reviews. They really help us connect with more women who need this information to help them scale. So much appreciated for that and taking the time to do that. Now, if it's go time for you and you're ready to scale your life and your business, then I want to offer you up something. I want to offer you access to our Be Unstoppable Facebook group. We drop daily and weekly resources in this free group that show you exactly how to scale, what you need to be doing differently. So if you want access to that group and it's go time for you, go to theunstoppablewoman.com/Facebook group, and that will redirect you there. So theunstoppablewoman.com/Facebook group, no spaces, and start by getting your copy of the scale plan, which lives there, and it's totally free. So go do that now, and then tune in to the next episode and continue to be unstoppable.